Shalom, shalom, brothers and sisters. This is your brother Azariah. I want to start by giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahawah. Doing so by Shema Mashiach Yahawashi. Just in case you didn't know, Yahawah being the name of the Heavenly Father, the Most High God. Yahawashi being the true name of the Son of God, Yahawah, the Lord and Savior of Israel, the elect of Israel, who the world ignorantly knows as Jesus Christ. All right. And hey, by the way, Shabbat Shalom, right? Because that's what we're getting into. We're getting into the Sabbath, right? A little couple of elements into it, not the full. I may do a lesson, on the Sabbath at another time if the Lord permitted, but more in detail or a different angle just about the Sabbath in general and how it's run. But I just want to give a quick rundown, that the Sabbath is indeed the 7-day cycle. So it would be today, right? It is indeed a 7-day cycle, and it's not the Lunar Sabbath. Now there's other people who kind of make up their own Sabbath day, or there's other interpretations of what it is, but those are the top two ones usually, be the 7-day weekly cycle and the versus the Lunar Sabbath, right? So I'm just gonna get into why the 7-day cycle. Just give just state a couple facts, that, accounts or witnesses that confirm when the Sabbath is. And also, we're going to get a quick Lunar Sabbath cut in, and the thing is, I want to be clear, my brothers and sisters, right? This isn't, if you're a Lunar Sabbath believer, this isn't to offend you, right? I don't do this with the intention to offend you, because we come from different walks of life, right? From Christianity to, from Islam, you name it, right? Kemetic, you name it, right? We all come from different walks of life, and shoot, even in this Israelite pool itself, right? Coming into the belief of Yahawashi Hamashiach fully, right? For those who check into the lessons, those of the body, y'all already know, what I'm talking about, right? So, for those who are looking to get baptized as well, would come into the body of Yahawashi, those, you may have learned in a different way from various teachers of different ways. There's all different beliefs in this thing. Nothing's new under the sun. It was the same way before, and it's damn sure that way now. But that being said, this isn't meant to be offensive, but at the same time, it is definitely correction. It is correction, right? Because the Lunar Sabbath is not the correct Sabbath, okay? So let's start off here with Exodus 31 and 15. 6 days may work be done, but in the 7th is the Sabbath of rest, holy to Yahawah. Whosoever doeth any work in the Sabbath day, he shall surely be put to death. Okay, so 6 days may work be done, but in the 7th is the Sabbath of rest, holy to Yahawah. So everyone can do their 6 days of work, but on that 7th day, you must rest, right? Verse 16, and also before I jump into 16, actually, he shall surely be put to death. We see how important that this is. People would get killed for polluting the Sabbath, doing work. Now obviously, since Hamashiach Yahawashi, his sacrifice, right? We've been given, grace and mercy in this period that we're in, which is, getting ready to come to an end, right? It's getting ready to come to an end. So, but that being said, we're still in it, and the Most High is not a robot. Yahawashi, neither being they're not robots. They understand. See, it's about having these commandments and wanting to keep them in the best of your ability, within your heart, right? For them to not be grievous onto you, right? So that's the thing, because we do understand that being in captivity, your job, brothers and sisters may have jobs and things that don't allow you to keep the Sabbath, right? Fully, the way you would, want to do it according to serving the Most High. And that's understandable. That's why we're glad Yahawashi himself is the Sabbath. Okay. So that's a different story, right? For you wanting to keep it, knowing that if you were able to keep the Sabbath day and you were off, you would keep it as instructed. But it's a different story, right? If we're just refusing to keep it, or we're refusing to keep it because we're believing that the Sabbath is a different day. All right. So let's go to verse 16. Wherefore, and even with that grace period, again, before I go again, even with that grace period, right, you still have a chance to repent now and get it right. And that's really why we're doing this lesson. You know, that's the reason why this lesson's being done, is because we still have a chance to get things together so that we can be clean as possible. You know, we can be as outcast, fresh and clean, you know, for Yahawashi Mashiach upon his arrival. You know, Lord willing, we're allowed to see him, or, you know, if we perish, we're resurrected on the righteous side. All right. Verse 16. Wherefore the children of Israel shall keep the Sabbath to observe the Sabbath throughout the generations for a perpetual covenant. So, right, us being the children of Israel, we got to keep the Sabbath and observe it throughout our generations, right? So meaning, of course, if captivity were to continue another 10, 15, 20 years, it doesn't look like it will, and Lord forbid that it does. Oh my gosh. But hypothetically speaking, for the sake of the argument, right, if it were to continue, your kids, and they kids will be keeping the Sabbath, right? Because a perpetual covenant means it's an everlasting covenant, an everlasting agreement, right? It never expires. It's forever. Verse 17, it is a sign between me and the children of Israel forever. Just in case you needed to, clarification or verification that perpetual is forever. There you go. It's a sign between me and the children of Israel forever. For in 6 days, Yahweh made heaven and earth, and on the seventh day, he rested and was refreshed. And that's the perfect example the Most High showed us. He did it by example, by creating, via Yahawashi and the elect men. All right, that's another story for another time. But when the creating was finished, they rested on the seventh day. They all rested on the seventh day. And so, that this covenant has been there since the beginning of time, since the Most High created it. Right, it's been there from the beginning, even before Moses gave the law. There was a day of rest. All right. So, 6 days, again, he's reiterating 6 days. The seventh day is that day that we're all supposed to rest and be rejuvenated. Like, it should be a day to rest up and rejuvenate, right? That's how big the Most High is on it, man. You work yourself off in 6 days. Hey, that seventh day, man, you need to rest, man. That's how serious the Most High is. He'll kill you for it. He would have killed you for it. Now we're in a period of grace and mercy. But for brothers and sisters that, have trouble believing the Sabbath when it is, we're dealing with that aspect of it, right? For those who believe it's different, the Sabbath runs on the moon, right? We got to address that, okay? We're going to address that in this lesson at least. We got various other lessons, but we're going to address it right here, all right? So let's go to the book of Colossians, right? Colossians chapter 2 and verse 16. Let no man therefore judge you in meat or in drink or in respect of any holy day or of the new moon or of the Sabbath days. And I went here because brothers and sisters, right, they tend to go here, all right? That's a scripture I know that's used by a lot of our brothers and sisters within the Israelite community, that like to say, okay, well, look, don't let anybody judge you for how you keep it, for how you keep the holy days, when you do it, the new moon, or when you keep the Sabbath day. Don't let anybody judge you. Now, this precept is really just dealing with the outside world, or anyone for that matter that wants to look at you crazy for keeping the commandments of the Most High. right? Keeping the law, statutes, and commandments, the ordinances thereof, right? Anyone judging you on the meat, maybe eating the Passover, the lamb, the lamb's the lamb for Passover, or any of these, or anything, right? For that matter, drink or respect of any holy days. Like, people may look at you weird when you're they're in the world and they're keeping these pagan holidays, Christmas, Thanksgiving, and etc., man, so on, right? But they're gonna look at you crazy when they don't have a holiday where people are sleeping in their tents, camping out for a time frame, right? They don't have that. So they may look at you strange, right? And they're gonna look at you strange when you're doing these ordinances thereof that the Most High made, because these are what help make us holy and set apart. Ultimately, it's Yahawashi and His righteousness. But doing these ordinances thereof are a proof of that. Your works, right? Righteous works that we're rehearsing. But this isn't dealing with if a Sabbath day, right? If someone's keeping the Sabbath day on the wrong day, hey, brother, don't judge me. I'm still keeping the Sabbath. Nah, that's going off, man. Like, that's not what this precept is for. Okay? Because, look, you gotta look at it like this, right? Since coming into the knowledge of, I want y'all to look at it from this image right here. Since coming into the knowledge of knowing we're an Israelite, right? One of the lies that was dispelled was that the Sabbath day, that the Christian church pretty much does, is keep it on Sunday, right? So you should know where I'm going with this at this point, all right? If this precept in Colossians 2:16 means exactly that, hey, don't judge anybody for how they keep their Sabbath, so you could do it on any day that you want to do it in, however, you go about it, as long as you're keeping it. Well, that means that the Christian church isn't wrong for keeping the Sabbath on so-called Sunday, which is really the first day of the week. That means there's no issue with them keeping the Sabbath. Because, hey, brother, but don't judge me, And Christians do that. They'll say that to you, too. Don't judge me how I keep my Sabbath. I remember talking to a pastor who said he kept this, the Most High didn't say what day. He never said, he was trying to be all, trying to play semantics. He didn't say Tuesday or whatever the case may be. You had to do it then, because Tuesday is not in the Bible. But Tuesday is not the seventh day, brother. And that's the thing, though. If we're running off of this, but that means he could keep it on Tuesday, or so-called Tuesday. He could keep it on that day. He could keep it on the third day, because, hey, let no brother judge you with your Sabbath days, right? Let no one judge you. See, and that's the thing. We can't make it. And this is not the only topic that this falls under, but it is one of them, where it's like we try to play. A lot of times we as people, we try to be, we have that stiff neck, that hard-headedness to us, right? And as a people, and we try to act like this is our stuff, right? Sometimes we do that, even subconsciously, intentionally, or subconsciously. We do that and act as if it's not the Most High's choice to do it the way He wanted to do it. You feel? Let's go to the book of Ezekiel, chapter 20 and verse 12. Moreover, I gave them my Sabbaths. I'm gonna read that again. Moreover, also I gave them my Sabbaths to be a sign between me and them, that they might know that I am Yahweh that sanctified them. Right? Notice how he said, I gave them my Sabbaths, right, as a sign. He didn't tell you to pick a day that you wanted to pick, right? He didn't tell you to, remix the day. He told you, he gave you his Sabbaths. This is the Most High Sabbath. So we have to be very particular about it. We have to be strict about it, brothers and sisters. We have to, right? We have to. There's no getting around it. I can, I'll keep it this day, whenever. No, you got to keep it the way the Most High wants you to do it. Just like anything, we got to do things the way He wants us to do it. That's the problem with Christianity. They do it the way they want to do, because it's Satan anyway. It's Aleister Crowley anyway. Okay, But when you're truly trying to be a servant of Yahawashi, you're learning to do away with yourself, sacrifice yourself daily by the blood of Yahawashi Mashiach, and to become more like Yahawashi, who's like who? The Heavenly Father Yahweh. So that's what we're trying to do. That's what we're going for. Okay? So keep in mind, these are the Most High Sabbaths. And then Yahawashi is the Sabbath. He's not going to do anything that his Father hasn't called. And according in the judge part, we got to judge you based on, are you keeping the right Sabbath, right? We got to make sure we're doing things decently in order, in the Most High's order, the way he wants it to be. This is the book of Zechariah, chapter 7 and verse 9. Thus speaketh Yahweh of hosts, saying, execute true judgment, and show mercy and compassion to every man to his brother. Right? This is a true judgment. So we are going to judge you if you're keeping the Sabbath the wrong day. Right? Specifically, we're speaking on the Sabbath being on the wrong day, right? Dealing with, some people believe in the Lunar Sabbath and, hey, it's okay. We don't judge you on it. No. Like, the thing is, we talk about this a lot between myself and the brothers, in the church Yahawashi. We tend to not try to offend, and I had to go through that too. We tend to try not to offend other Israelites, right? In the sense of, even when it comes to doctrinal wise, because we're so scared to get into, a debate or odds. But there's ways to do this thing respectfully, man. You can be respectful about it and have that dialogue. The scriptures say, debate thy cause, if you have an ought, right? But you can't, you can't just put everything together in the pot, and when it don't mix. You know what I'm saying? There's certain foods that just don't belong in the pot. But we always try to mix each other when we got different doctrines, different beliefs, and try to just, hey, we'll congregate. And the scriptures tell you not to do that. The scriptures tell you not to do that with totally different understandings, right? But because it's still the Sabbath, you got the different name. You have a different name, and who the Messiah is, but at least it's still the same Messiah. Oh, you do a different Sabbath, but at least you're still doing the Sabbath, brother. No. Can't do that. Amos 3:3. All right. So this is showing true judgment and showing mercy and compassion, right? Because Lord forbid, you get, like you said, you be caught in the Sabbath day, right? As Yahawashi alluded to, your flight not being the winter, and you mentioned the Sabbath day as well, that, let's say all hell is breaking loose and a Sabbath day pops up, but you don't believe it's the actual Sabbath day. You believe it's the Lunar Sabbath. So you just go doing about the same things that you would do on a regular day, and the whole time you're breaking the Sabbath, right? That's what's happening with brothers and sisters, right? So we just want to make this known for people coming from that school of thought that the Sabbath is a Lunar Sabbath, coming from the new moon, right? Now, this is what I want to do here. So I came across this on biosabbath.com. It's called Evidence Weekly Cycle Has Never Changed, because there's people that don't believe in the 7-day Sabbath simply because of the fact they say it's the Gregorian calendar, and it's been altered, it's been changed. So let's get into this article real quick. All right, the writings of historians, the records of chronographers, the languages of earth, the calendars of time, the existence of the Jewish race all testify to the fact that the weekly cycle on our calendars today is the same as in earlier centuries, going back to the time of Christ, to Moses, and beyond. In the beginning, God gave us the weekly 7-day cycle with the Sabbath as the last day. That pattern has never changed. Never changed. The 7th day of the week today is the true Bible Sabbath. Our 7th day is the Sabbath, which, who they call Jesus, kept it. It was the Sabbath in the time of Moses when the 10 Commandments were written down. Historians and scientists all agree that this is true. So even dealing with other nations, right? You're dealing with even other nations that agree that the weekly cycle has never changed. It's always remained the same, that nothing has ever been altered in that respect. Now, do you got some people that, like, for example, today, one of the arguments today, Sunday, today's so-called Saturday, Sunday, Monday, these names, those names were added in, given based off their gods or Greek mythology, anything of that nature. But at the same time, it's still running off the 7-day cycle. Those names didn't change the 7-day cycle. And that's the key point to hit on, right? So if someone ever asks, they changed the Gregorian calendar. Well, did they change the 7-day cycle? And then the answer is no. There's many people giving accounts of that. Now, look at this right here. The yearly cycle has been changed in 1582. The length of the year was changed to include the leap year. This changeover resulted in October 1582 having only 21 days. But each week remained the same 7 days, the same 7 weekly cycle down through the ages. If he had not done this, it would be impossible to keep the Sabbath day, made holy by the command of God. All calendars agree the 7th day is the Sabbath. Sunday is the first day. The day called Saturday in the English language is the Sabbath. And you just see plenty of examples. We're going to go jump. I could go through this whole article, but I'm not going to do that for the sake of time, right? What I am going to do is I'm going to jump down to evidence, part of this article from evidence from scientists, historians, and astronomers, okay? So let's read a little bit of it. Historians have amassed an immense record of human events going back thousands of years. Those records tell us of people keeping the 7th day holy far back in recorded history. Astronomers have kept an accurate record of time, and theirs is one of the most accurate that you will find anywhere. They tell us that if all records of time should suddenly be lost, astronomers could rediscover time from the mathematics of the stars and their motions. God put the stars in the heavens for signs and for seasons and for days and years. Genesis 1:14 being sourced. All right. One of the most striking collateral confirmations of the Mosaic history of the creation is the general adoption of the division of time into weeks, which extends from the Christian states of Europe to the remote shores of Hindustan and has equally prevailed among the Hebrews, Egyptians, Chinese, Greeks, Romans, and northern barbarians. Nations, some of whom had little or no communication with others and were not even known by name to the Hebrews. All right, let's jump down. So now we're getting more and more sources from people, from quotes, and that have books, either have books, articles, or things you could check out, right? And they're quoting it. So this is a good article that has a lot of different quotes from various amount of people, historians and scientists and astronomers, right? That go into it. All right, let's read one. Let's see here. Which we just read. One was from Horm's Introduction, Volume 1, page 69. All right, let's give you another one. The week has been followed for thousands of years and therefore has been hallowed by immoral use. Anders Donner. I have always hesitated to suggest breaking the continuity of the week, which without a doubt is the most ancient scientific institution bequeathed to us by antiquity. All right? So he's hesitated to suggest breaking the continual weekly cycle, is what he's saying. This is Edward Ballard, right? The report, page 52. Right? So he's saying it's like, there was a hesitation. I wouldn't say that. I hesitate to say that the weekly cycle was broken, right? It's the most ancient scientific institution. The most ancient. So this is going all the way back, right? This is going all the way back to the beginning. All right. Here's my Encyclopedia Britannica, 11th edition, volume 4, page 988. The week is a period of 7 days. It has been employed from time immemorial in almost all Eastern countries. They're confirming you that this period is 7 days. This is in Eastern countries as well. All right? As to question 1, I can only state that in connection with the proposed simplification of the calendar, we have had occasion to investigate the results of the works of specialists in chronology, and we have never found one of them that has ever had the slightest doubt the continuity of the weekly cycle since long before the Christian era. Look at this now. They're all telling you. Look, we're over 2 or 3 witnesses at this point, man. This is overkill. This is over 2 or 3 witnesses. Question 2. Ask the question 2. There has been no change in our calendar in past centuries that has affected in any way the cycle of the week. So the Gregorian calendar, again, like we stated, that didn't change anything. James Robertson, personal letter dated March 12, 1932. Should we keep it going? As far as I know, in the various changes of the calendar, there has been no change in the 7-day rota of the week, which has come down from very early times. Of W. Dyson, personal letter dated March 4th, 1932. I mean, like you just see it. Let's see if we can get an older source. See if we can get an older source in here. A little bit older. Here we go. By calculating the eclipses, it can be proven that no time has been lost and that the creation days were 7, divided into 24 hours each. Dr. Hinckley, The Watchman, July 1926. Dr. Hinckley was a well-known astronomer of half a century ago. That's the thing, man. That was in 1926. So you just see it, man. The many accounts that we have and quotes of people letting you know that this Sabbath is a 7-day cycle. Okay? It's a 7-day cycle. There's many scientists, astronomers, and historians telling you the same account that weekly cycle would not be broken. All right? Now, when you go into the moon, right? Let's say dealing with the Lunar Sabbath aspect of it, you can see that it just doesn't fit. Okay? Now, I want y'all to see something that my brother posted in the chat. It's like a couple weeks ago. All right. So you can get this. You can download this if you don't have it. Phases of the Moon app. Go to your nearest Google Play Store, your App Store. If you got an iPhone. All right. But check this out. So phases of the moon. So basically, this lets you know, okay, when you can put the phases in there. You can, if you want to deal from when the moon, because that's how we really dictate the months, right? Because all the months start from a new moon. All right. Now, in this day specifically, right? He noted, my brother Yerumia, he noted how on Friday, December 23rd, right? Let me go. I'm gonna go there myself so you can follow along on there. Friday, so-called December 23rd. If you look here, you see on the 23rd, it was a new month. It was a new moon. But wait a minute. That's a new moon. But according to the Lunar Sabbath, right? It's supposed to be a Sabbath. Right? It's because the Lunar Sabbath, and I'm gonna get a calendar in a second. The Lunar Sabbath, remember, is the 8th, 15th, 22nd, and 29th, according to a lunar calendar. That's the 8th, the 15th, 22nd, and the 29th, according to a lunar calendar. Now, guess what? Look at how off this is. The 22nd. Now this isn't a lunar calendar, so we do have to adjust it. But because this makes it just look even more worse. The Lunar Sabbath would have been, right, if it was the 22nd, it would have fell. It would have, for one, it would have fell on a Thursday. If it was the 22nd, but then there's a new moon here on a Friday. It's not looking good. But again, this isn't a lunar calendar, so I'll digress to an extent. But even if we just go to the fact that a new moon was supposed to fall in, right? The new moon is had fell on the 23rd, and guess what? That's only 6 days. It's only 6 days. Start off in here on so-called Sunday, right? Day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, day 5, day 6. But it's the new moon. But that's a Sabbath, though?
Take a few steps back.
Come on now. That's a big issue. This is very problematic. The new moon was on the 23rd. But that 23rd, the 23rd was only the 6th day of the week. So how could it be a Sabbath if it's only been 6 days? This is the problem with the Lunar Sabbath, guys. Like, this is the problem. It doesn't line up. This is how you know the Lunar Sabbath is not the real. I mean, this is there's many ways to go into it, but this is evidence just in real time showing you that the Lunar Sabbath is not the real Sabbath day, right? And again, we're not trying to be mean to Lunar Sabbath keepers. We're being honest. Like, I gotta understand, what time we're in right now. Okay, all right. So let's keep your eyes on this, right? Because this is the Lunar Sabbath calendar right here, right? Day 1 being up top, new moon day. Day 2, day 1 is day 2, day 2 is day 3. So here you go. Here's your Sabbath right here. 8, 15, 22, and 29. All right? 8, 15, 22, and 29. And the calendar is wrong. Of course, the calendar is off. Which, but let's get into this. So we'll deal with this in the scriptures real quick. We're going to get a quick Lunar Sabbath cut real quick. All right? Now, this is the book of Numbers, chapter 10. And we'll start at verse 1 for context sake. All right? And Yahawah spake unto Moses, saying, Make thee 2 trumpets of silver, of a whole piece shalt thou make them, that thou mayest use them for the calling of the assembly, and for the journeying of the camps. Right? So there's going to be a journey to go. Most High told Moses to make the 2 trumpets of silver, and make a whole piece. Thou shalt make them for the calling of assembly, and for the journeying of the camp. So they're getting ready to take a journey. And when they shall blow with them, all the assembly shall assemble themselves to thee at the door of the tabernacle of the congregation. All right. Now, let's jump down to verse. We'll start also. We'll jump down to. We'll go to 11. Go to 11 right here. And it came to pass on the 20th day of the second month in the second year that the cloud was taken up from off the tabernacle of the testimony. Now, I also got to keep in mind, right? We want to keep in mind that the 20th day, seeing that it'd be the 20th day at that time, we also want to keep in mind, right? And just in case for the people that don't know, because there's people that know and there's people that don't know, of course. But every day isn't going to be the same. Every day is not going to follow on the same cycle. Right? So when you go, for example, to let's say 1 month, 1 year, a day may fall on the 7th day, and another year, the next year, a day may fall on the 8th day, right? Well, that's because right here, all we got to do is look. The fundamental reason is our year is 365 days in most years, and 365 is not a multiple of 7. It is one more than a multiple of 7. So 1 year shifts the day of the week ahead by 1. If January 1st of one 365 day long year is a Wednesday, say then January 1st of the next year is a Thursday. So they're not always going to land, right? A day may not always land on the same day. Well, in fact, they won't. That's exactly just not always going to land on the same day. It alters, right? So you just want to keep that in mind when you look at the journey. Because it came to pass on the 20th day of the second month in the second year that the cloud was taken up off the tabernacle of the testimony. All right. And the children of Israel took their journey out of the wilderness of Sinai, and the cloud rested in the wilderness of Paran. And they first took their journey according to the commandment of Yahweh by the hand of Moses. All right, now let's jump down to verse 28. Thus were their journeyings of the children of Israel according to their armies when they set forward. And Moses said unto Hobab, the son of Raguel, the Midianite, Moses' father-in-law, we are journeying into the place of which Yahweh said, I will give it you. Come thou with us, and we will do thee good, for Yahweh hath spoken good concerning Israel. And he said unto him, I will not go, but I will depart to my own land and to my kindred. And he said, leave us not, I pray thee, for as much as thou knowest how we are to encamp in the wilderness, and thou mayest be to us of eyes. May be to us, thou mayest be to us instead of eyes. And it shall be, if thou go with us, yea, it shall be that what goodness Yahweh shall do unto us, the same will we do unto thee. And they departed from the mount of Yahweh 3 days' journey, and the ark of the covenant of Yahweh went before them in 3 days' journey to search out a resting place for them. And the cloud of Yahweh was upon them by day when they went out of the camp. So these guys had to go on a journey, right? Because remember, it was the 20th that they left, that they began their journey. And it took them 3 days to get to their destination. Now, if you look at a lunar calendar, one of those 3 days, right? Going into those 3 days, one of them is a Sabbath. Okay? One of them is a Sabbath. Now, they're not going to do is, because you got to journey, you got to walk, you have to rest. Like, just picture, you got to take yourself back into that time fold. You got to pull the fill of the future on this one, all right? When you go back in time and see the journey they had to make, well, they have to set up camp. They have to do what? Work. And what are we not allowed to do? On Exodus 31, we're not allowed to do work. And various other precepts. We're not allowed to do work on the Sabbath day. You have to set up tent. You have to set up camp. You have to do all of this. You have to do all this labor and physical activity on the Sabbath day, when it's supposed to be what? A day of rest, right? And mind you, this is before this is way before Yahawashi and Mashiach came into the picture. As himself, before the Son of Man came and walked the earth, before he came. So, that being said, there's no way that, according to this calendar, they could have the Sabbath, the Lunar Sabbath is the correct way, because this would have got them put to death. This would have got them put to death. We know that. This would have got them put to death for working on the Sabbath. The same way that, let's get it, man. Let's get it. I forgot this. I forgot where, let me see. Let's see. Let's do this. Numbers 15 and 32. And while the children of Israel were in the wilderness, they found a man that gathered sticks upon the Sabbath day. And they that found him gathering sticks brought him unto Moses and Aaron and unto all the congregation. And they put him in ward, because it was not declared what should be done to him. Yahweh said unto Moses, the man shall be surely put to death. All the congregation shall stone him with stones without the camp. And all the congregation brought him without the camp, stoned him with stones, and he died, as Yahweh commanded Moses. Look, now this is what happened to the man that picked up sticks. You think the Most High is going to allow them to set up camp? Absolutely not. So, and he's not going to set them up to just be killed with no choice. Everyone would have had to have died that day if they were on that 22nd day, right, on this Lunar Sabbath calendar. Man, they would have all the children of Israel would have had to die, because they had to set up camp. All of them would have had to die, or just sit out in the open wilderness and just take whatever came. And the Most High is not, the Most High is not going to get down like that. He's going to make sure that they're provided for. All right. So that right there was just, that was a quick little rundown. Like I said, no Lunar Sabbath. The Lunar Sabbath is inaccurate. Okay. The 7-day cycle is the Sabbath. The 7th-day weekly cycle, or your so-called Saturday, is the true Sabbath. It's not to boast. This is not to offend. But we got to let you know, right, for y'all brothers and sisters, especially y'all that really coming into Yahawashi. Now, if y'all want to keep the Lunar Sabbath, anyone that wants to still keep it, go ahead. But you're breaking the commandment. Just understand that you're breaking the commandments of the Most High. You're breaking the commandments of the Most High, Ba'Shem Yahawashi, by keeping a Lunar Sabbath. And there's a lot of other things that symbolizes too as well. You don't believe in Yahawashi's death and resurrection, and that's another lesson. That's actually, you can check that out. You can check that out on the Church Yahawashi Yahawashi page. On the Bob page, it should be up there as well, I believe. But yeah, we may get into that another time too on this page. But at the end of the day, you want to do the Most High's commandments in the way He wants us to do them. I would think that any brother and sister that wants to serve the Most High wants to serve Him correctly and according to His way, right? So we can't let that just blow by. All right. So we can't, if it offends you, then that's the truth that offends you. That's all that is. We can't get on. We can't get on that. There's nothing we can do about that. We can't. We can't deal with that. It's in the book of Luke, chapter 7, and verse 23. It says, "And blessed is he whoever shall not be offended in me." Right? And Yahawashi is the volume. It comes in low, the volume of the book. So we got to keep that in mind, brothers and sisters, because the times are running to. Look, the times are running to. The pot is already boiling. We already know we're right on the cusp of Jacob's trouble. It's getting ignited. Right, the pot is boiling, and you're going to be keeping the lunar Sabbath, and then little do you know, now the whole kitchen's on fire. Okay, so we can't. We got to let you know, brothers and sisters that are coming in or in, and may have been keeping the lunar Sabbath, that it is not the correct Sabbath according to the way that the Most High has set things up. And we want to please the Most High to the best of our variability while performing and rehearsing the righteous acts in the land of our captivity. With that, Shabbat Shalom, brothers and sisters. I'm giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahawah, Bahashem HaMashiach, Yahawashi. Peace and blessings to y'all. Diligently waiting on the second coming of our Lord and Savior Yahawashi, the Lord willing, deliver us from this wicked captivity. And with that, again, Shabbat Shalom.